Hey there folks, Tim Slade here and welcome back to the ATD Ask a Trainer video series. In today's episode, I'm answering some really awesome questions about building your online portfolio. So let's get to it. There was a time when having a portfolio was really only necessary for those folks working in some sort of creative field, like graphic design or photography. However, our industry slowly started to adopt the idea of needing a portfolio, but even then, it was mostly limited to those folks working as freelancers. But I have to say, over the last couple of years, we've really started to see things shift towards needing a portfolio. More and more organizations are now asking their candidates to come prepared with a portfolio to showcase their work and their skills. And frankly, with so many folks in our industry looking to make job changes this year, having a portfolio has been just such a huge topic of discussion online. And this has been true whether folks are looking to become a freelancer or simply maintain a full-time job. So, with that all said, let's get to your questions about building an online portfolio. All right, so our first question comes from CATH ELLIS. Hey, CATH. And CATH wants to know, why does a learning professional need a portfolio? Now, I have to be honest, we included a question from CATH in last month's episode, but I couldn't not include another question from CATH because while this question seems so basic on the surface, it's actually a really important question. Here's the thing about portfolios versus resumes, because that's really what it's about. Do I need a resume or do I need a portfolio? Or maybe you need both. Here's the thing. Resumes only list your credentials in chronological order. That's it. And the problem with that is more and more employers are looking to hire for what you can offer them right now. Regardless of whether you have 2 years of experience, 20 years of experience, whether you have a master's degree in instructional technology or whatever the case might be, or if you're someone like me who has a random bachelor's degree in criminal justice because you used to catch shoplifters for a living. It doesn't matter. The thing is that a resume can't help a potential client or an employer really validate whether or not you have the skills they're looking for. So enter a portfolio. You need a portfolio because it literally illustrates. It's living evidence and proof that you can do the things that you say you can do. As a hiring manager, you'll find tons of resumes that say, hey, I'm really good at storyline, or I'm great at needs analysis, or I'm great at instructional design. But those are just words on a page. Employers want to see evidence, and that's exactly what a portfolio does. So that was a great question, CATH, and thank you so much for asking it. All right, so our second question comes from CARMEL Lee. Hey, CARMEL. And CARMEL wants to know, how can I showcase my work when I don't have a website? Ooh, that's a really, really good one. First I have to say, and I'm going to talk more about this in my next answer that I give, but I have to say it's easier than ever to build a website, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But what if you don't have the time to build a website? What if you don't have the time or the money, or you just need to get something up and running really quickly? What can you do? Well, when I was really early in my career, before I built a website, I actually designed my first portfolio in PowerPoint. I put together this document, and then I went out and I had it printed. And it was this little pamphlet that was this booklet that I created, and it included some examples of my work, some screenshots, some text about my philosophy about good e-learning design. And then on the very, very back, I actually literally glued a CD pocket on the very back. And I burnt, when you could still burn things to CD, I don't know if you can do that anymore, burnt some examples onto a CD and included that in the back. And I'll tell you, every interview I ever took that to, I got a job offer, because it was the one thing that differentiated me from the rest of the candidates that were applying for the job, and it was evidence of my work, right? So if you don't have a website to build a portfolio, think creatively. Open up PowerPoint, create a deck. Even if you only turn that into a PDF and attach it to your resume, do it. It's the smallest thing you can do that will differentiate you from everyone else. And it works. So I hope that helps, CARMEL. Thanks for asking. All right, so our third question comes from Christine B. Hey, Christine. And Christine wants to know, what are some free or affordable options for building and hosting your portfolio? Great question. There was a time, if you wanted to build a website, you needed to know how to code, and you had to use expensive tools, or you had to hire somebody that was really, really expensive, right? But nowadays, it's easier than ever to get up and running with a website. So you can go spend a couple bucks and buy your domain name from GoDaddy or Google Domains or wherever you want to buy it from. And there's tons of options for building a website. So for example, a lot of folks have lately been using Google Sites. They completely redesigned Google Sites. It doesn't look like it's circa 1998 anymore. They actually look like modern websites, and it's completely free. You could literally build a website in a matter of minutes. If you wanted something a little bit more intricate, you could choose to go with one of the template-based web building tools. Like GoDaddy offers some, Squarespace, Wix, any of those are really good and easy to get up and running with. Or you can do something that's a little bit more relatively advanced, like a WordPress, even though it's not that advanced, but it takes a little bit more to get up and running with it. But you can host a portfolio there and host your website there. I've also seen some folks, if you don't have the time to build an entire website, even a simple one, I've seen some folks who have built their portfolios in tools like Articulate Storyline or Rise or an Adobe Captivate. And then they publish and host those on the web and send a link out to that. And that's their portfolio. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're building a course in Storyline or Rise, you're essentially building a little website. So think creatively. There's a lot of options out there. Thanks for asking that, Christine. All right, so our fourth and final question comes from Deanna Furlong. Hey, Deanna. And Deanna wants to know, what should you do if all of your work examples include a lot of proprietary information? Fantastic question, Deanna. And this is one that no matter how many years of experience you have, how long you've had a portfolio, this is one that we all run into, where you built this amazing course for your company or for a client. It's awesome, but it's full of information that you don't know if you can publicly put on your website, right? So the first thing I always tell people, or the first thing I ask is, well, have you asked that client or that employer whether or not you can share it? And you'd be amazed at how many people don't take the time or find the courage to simply ask. And you'd be amazed at how many times, at least in my experience, clients, employers have said, yeah, that's okay, go ahead and share it. So do yourself a favor and ask. At least explore that opportunity. If you ask and they say no, well, then the second thing you can try to do is maybe negotiate. Maybe there's some content that'd be okay with you stripping out, right? So maybe you strip out some proprietary information, but there's other components that you can share. Or maybe you can fill it with some dummy content, right? Strip it out. If all of that fails and you still can't share it, then my final tip would be to create your own examples. And that's what I used to do when I was really, really early in my career. In fact, some of the portfolio examples I have on my portfolio right now include examples that I simply built during my own time. I have one on dealing with angry customers, and I even have one on how to cook a turkey, which is not a lie. One year I didn't go home for Thanksgiving, and so I thought, well, gosh, I'm bored, so I'll create a course on how to cook a turkey. Funny thing about that is it's like one of my most popular portfolio pieces, and I actually took it to a conference a few years ago and won an award for this random course on how to cook a turkey. My clients love it, people love it, and it was just something I created because I was bored. So go find a topic that interests you or something that you know something about and create a course on it. More often than not, most of the clients or employers you might be interviewing with or talking to are going to be pretty forgiving of the fact that you can't share all of your work examples. So even if you create something, even if it's full of dummy content, it still shows your skills. So I hope that helps, Deanna. All right, I think that's all we have time for today, and I have to say those were some amazing questions. And as always, I want to send a big thanks to everyone who submitted a question for this month's episode. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to get alerted the next time we publish an episode of Ask a Trainer, make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure to check out the ATD advice column by checking out the link in the description. My name is Tim Slade, and until next time, I'll see you around.